5 killed at Fort Lauderdale Airport shooting. A man opened fire in the baggage claim area of Terminal 2 at Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood International Airport in Florida on Friday, killing at least 5 people and wounding 8 more. Esteban Santiago flew from Anchorage to Minneapolis on Thursday night before taking a flight from Minneapolis to Fort Lauderdale Airport, landing on Friday afternoon. After arrival, he reportedly claimed his bag and went to the restroom, where he took out his gun and loaded it. He then started shooting at people in the baggage claim area until he ran out of bullets. A witness told MSNBC that Santiago threw his gun to the ground and lay down after the gunfire stopped. The suspect reportedly got into an argument during his flight from Alaska to Florida, which is being investigated as the potential reason for the shooting rampage. Here are other attacks that have taken place at airports in the past.
Airline employee shot and killed at Oklahoma Airport. Oklahoma's Will Rogers World Airport was closed for most of Tuesday, following a shooting that took the life of a Southwest Airlines employee. The 52-year-old victim was identified as Michael Winchester, a former University of Oklahoma football player whose son plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. Winchester was reportedly shot while walking near the airport parking garage shortly before 1 p.m. on Tuesday. He was found wounded and bleeding and brought to the hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries. Responding officers put the airport on lockdown. Flights were suspended, vehicles barred from entering and leaving, and passengers told to seek cover. Police armed with rifles searched the complex for the suspect, eventually locating him inside the parking garage hours later, dead. Investigators found his body in a red pickup and believe he shot himself in the head. Authorities are still investigating the incident and have yet to disclose a motive for the killing, which some media outlets suggest was a premeditated act.
A man attacked TSA officers with machete at New Orleans Airport. A man attacked TSA officers with wasp spray and machete at New Orleans Airport on Friday night. A man, identified as 63-year-old Richard White, sprayed a TSA officer with wasp spray at a security checkpoint at Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport. White then sprayed a second TSA officer and pulled a machete out of his pants and began swinging it at other officers. He then chased an officer who used a piece of luggage to defend himself through the metal detector. A deputy with the sheriff's office responded and fired 3 shots, striking White in the left side of his face, chest, and thigh. White was taken to a hospital for treatments. Authorities did not know what prompted the attack.
Wild West shootout at TAICHUNG Airport leaves 1 dead. Yesterday, a simple traffic stop by airport police at TAICHUNG Airport in central Taiwan turned into an action movie shootout. A 45-year-old man, identified by his last name Zhang, arrived at the airport with his 6-year-old daughter on his scooter. The airport police stopped Zhang because his daughter wasn't wearing a helmet. Mr. Zhang became angry over the stop and the $20 fine and attacked the police officer, grabbing at the officer's gun. The officer made an attempt to pull his weapon, but dropped it, and Mr. Zhang snatched up the pistol. The officer fled behind a parked vehicle where he and other officers returned fire as Mr. Zhang shot wildly at the officers until he finished unloading the clip. After several minutes of shooting, Mr. Zhang had taken 4 shots to the chest, 1 police officer had been shot, and 1 female bystander had been grazed by a bullet. The injured individuals were rushed to hospital. Doctors were unable to save Mr. Zhang, but the officer and female bystander are in stable condition. There were over 25 shots fired in total. Not all the shots have been accounted for, but some of the bullets went through the glass paneling airport's main doors. Inside the airport, terrified travelers and staff all hit the ground or hid behind service counters until the incident was over. This is what happens when road rage meets the OK Corral in Taiwan.
Police shoot and kill man at Columbus, Ohio Airport. Police shot and killed a man at Columbus International Airport after a confrontation on Wednesday. The shooting occurred after the suspect was unable to purchase an airline ticket with a fake ID. An officer was called to the scene and followed the suspect out of the terminal. A confrontation ensued after the officer called a tow truck for the suspect's vehicle, which was parked illegally in the departure area. The suspect reportedly tried to stab the officer with a knife, prompting the officer to fire at him multiple times. The suspect fell to the ground but got back up and continued to threaten the officer. The suspect then moved towards a second officer who had responded to the situation. The second officer retreated backwards towards the terminal entrance, where a third officer was standing. The third officer shot and killed the suspect. Police said additional knives were found on the deceased suspect, and suspicious items were found in his vehicle.